Learn to be happy in every situation. Let's take a deep breath together and let it out slowly. Because tonight, I want to speak to your soul. Life. It doesn't come with a manual, a warning label, or a remote control to skip the hard parts. It arrives as it is. Unpredictable, beautiful, messy, painful, and extraordinary. We've all been through things we didn't see coming. Some of us are still walking through storms right now. And there's a question that circles the mind during tough times. How can I be happy when everything around me is falling apart? Let me tell you something I've learned. Not from books, but from the school of life. Happiness is not the result of circumstances. It is a decision, a discipline, a daily choice. And that you don't wait for the sun to shine to decide to feel light inside. You create your own sunshine. You don't wait for the job, the relationship, the money to feel worthy. You were already born worthy. There's power in the way we frame our experiences. I've seen people with very little live with hearts overflowing with joy. And I've seen people with everything money can buy still feel empty inside. Why? Because happiness isn't about what's outside of you. It's about what lives within you. Every situation, no matter how difficult, is trying to teach you something. Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's strength. Maybe it's how to let go. And when you stop resisting life and start embracing it, you realize, even in the middle of chaos, there is something to be grateful for. The little things. A smile from a stranger. The way the morning light hits your coffee cup. The fact that you're still here, breathing, learning, growing. You want a secret to happiness? Stop chasing it, start creating it. Right where you are, with what you have, in this very moment. So here's what I want you to remember. No matter where you've been, no matter what you're facing, you have the power to choose joy, to live in gratitude, to rise above. Don't wait for life to be perfect. It never will be. But you can choose to be whole. You can choose to be happy. Not someday. When we think about happiness, most of us tie it to the things we want. The dream job, the perfect partner, a certain number in our bank account, a house that looks like the ones we scroll past on social media. And we tell ourselves, when I get there, I'll be happy. But the truth is, happiness is not waiting at the finish line. It's not something you arrive at after everything falls into place. Happiness is something you carry within you every single day, regardless of what life throws your way. There will be days when nothing goes according to plan. You'll wake up late, the coffee machine will break, someone will say something unkind, you'll feel tired, unseen, overwhelmed. In those moments, it's tempting to hand over your joy, to let the outside world dictate how you feel inside. But here's what I've learned. Happiness is a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows stronger the more you use it. Choosing happiness doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't mean forcing a smile or ignoring your pain. It means being honest with yourself about what you're going through and still choosing to find light in the cracks. It's about saying, yes, this is hard, but I'm still going to show up with an open heart. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about courageous perspective. I remember talking to a woman who had lost everything in a house fire, photos, furniture, memories, everything gone in minutes. I expected to meet someone broken. Instead, I found someone radiating grace. She looked me in the eye and said, "The fire took my things, but it didn't take me." And that moment changed me. She didn't wait for life to be good again to find joy. She made the decision to be happy because she understood how fragile everything is. She knew that life is too short to wait. That's the kind of happiness I'm talking about. The kind that's rooted in truth, not fantasy. The kind that survives storms because it isn't built on what you have. It's built on who you are. Some people think that happy people have easy lives. But the happiest people I know have been through the most. What sets them apart is not what happened to them, but how they responded. They took heartbreak and turned it into strength. They took loss and turned it into wisdom. They chose to rise again and again when it would have been easier to sink. And you know what? That choice is available to all of us. Every single day, we are handed the opportunity to choose our mindset. We can wake up and focus on everything that's wrong, or we can take a breath, look around, and find just one thing that's right. And sometimes that one thing is enough to get us through the day. I won't lie to you. Some days, happiness will feel far away. There will be grief. There will be disappointments. But even then, you still have power. You still have a say in what you give your energy to. You can feel sad and still be grateful. You can be afraid and still find reasons to smile. Life is not black and white. You're allowed to feel it all. I want you to really hear this. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not at the mercy of what happens around you. Yes, life will challenge you. Yes, you will face things you didn't ask for. But you don't have to wait for everything to be okay to give yourself permission to be happy. Happiness is a decision you make when you wake up. It's in how you greet the day. It's in how you treat people. It's in how you talk to yourself. It's in the way you notice the small things. A flower blooming on the sidewalk, a kind word from a stranger, the sound of laughter coming from another room. These moments are quiet, but they're everything. Every day, you're writing the story of your life. And you get to choose what kind of character you want to be. Do you want to be someone who lets the world harden you? Or do you want to be someone who lets the world shape you, soften you, deepen you, but never take away your joy? You have that choice. And it's not just a one-time decision. It's a commitment you make again and again, even when it's difficult, especially when it's difficult. Because when you learn to choose happiness in the middle of imperfection, you don't just find peace, you find power. There's a story we've all been told over and over again. It's everywhere, from childhood fairy tales to social media, from advertisements to dinner table conversations. The story goes like this. If you just work hard enough, if you wait long enough, if you can check off the right boxes, you'll finally be happy. When you get the job, when you find the right person, when you lose the weight, buy the house, book the vacation, that's when joy will come. But let me tell you something that changed my life the day I understood it for real. Joy doesn't arrive when the stars align. It isn't wrapped in a paycheck or hidden in a relationship or waiting at the end of a dream. Joy is something you create with your own hands, with your own heart, with your own awareness of the present moment. You can spend years chasing happiness like it's a destination, some final stop at the end of a long journey. And yet, even when you arrive, even when you get what you thought you wanted, the joy is fleeting. It vanishes like steam because it wasn't built from the inside out. It was borrowed from something outside of you. And anything borrowed can be taken away. Some of the most joyful people I've ever met are not the ones with the biggest homes or the most glamorous lifestyles. They're the ones who know how to sit in silence and enjoy their own company. The ones who notice the warmth of the sun through the window, who laugh loudly at simple things, who dance in the kitchen just because their favorite song came on. They don't wait for joy. They make it. There's a kind of freedom that comes when you stop putting your happiness on hold, when you no longer say, "I'll be happy when," and instead begin asking, "What can I do today to feel joy?" That question, though simple, is powerful because it shifts the responsibility back to you. It reminds you that you are not powerless. You are not stuck. You have the ability every single day to create moments that light you up. And these moments don't have to be big. In fact, the most beautiful moments are often the smallest ones. A hot cup of tea on a quiet morning, a deep breath that actually fills your lungs, a spontaneous conversation with someone who really sees you, a walk, a memory, a burst of laughter that catches you off guard. These are the building blocks of a joyful life. And you don't have to earn them. You just have to notice them, appreciate them, let them in. Creating your own joy also means giving yourself permission to redefine what joy looks like for you. Maybe it's not the dream that everyone else is chasing. Maybe your joy isn't in climbing a corporate ladder, but in gardening or painting or teaching kids how to read. Maybe your joy isn't loud and Instagram worthy. Maybe it's soft, gentle, private. And that's okay. That's more than okay. That's sacred. You create your own joy when you stop performing for the world and start listening to your soul. When you stop needing validation to feel worthy. When you realize that life is not a race and the real prize isn't at the end. It's in the moments you live fully along the way. You also create joy by being intentional with your energy, choosing what you consume, who you spend time with, what you say yes to. Joy isn't found in chaos. It's nurtured in stillness, in clarity, in authenticity. Sometimes creating joy means walking away from toxic habits, from exhausting expectations, from people who drain your spirit. That's not selfish. That's wisdom. And sometimes creating joy is about giving it away. You find it when you lift someone else up, when you send a kind message, when you listen without interrupting, when you give without expecting. Joy is funny that way. The more you give, the more it multiplies. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Don't wait for a person or a place to give you permission to feel good. You are the artist. You are the author. Your joy is your responsibility, your birthright, your creation. Because once you realize that joy is not something you have to search for, it's something you can generate, the whole world opens up. There are moments in life that shake us, moments we didn't plan for, moments that leave us breathless, disoriented, or broken in ways we didn't even know we could be broken. A loss, a betrayal, a door slammed shut when you were just starting to believe. And in those moments, it's easy to ask, why me? It's natural to want to retreat, to pull away, to feel like life is punishing you. But here's what I want to tell you, not from a place of theory, but from lived experience. Every struggle carries a lesson. Every hardship has something to teach you, even when it feels like it's only here to hurt you. Especially that. You see, pain changes you. It stretches you. It introduces you to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. Strength you didn't know you had. Resilience you never had to call on before. Struggles are not setbacks, they are shaping tools. And while they may feel cruel in the moment, they often hold the seeds of our greatest growth. Think back on the hardest times in your life. Not the mildly inconvenient ones, but the soul-level storms. The ones that cracked you open. Look at who you were before them and who you became afterward. You're not the same, are you? And that change, that evolution, some lessons teach us about ourselves. They reveal the truth about our boundaries, our values, our emotional depth. Others teach us about the world, how to discern what is real and what is noise, how to recognize genuine love, how to walk away from what isn't serving us. And some of the most painful lessons, they teach us how to forgive, how to let go, how to start again. I once sat with a woman who had gone through a painful divorce after 20 years of marriage. She told me she thought she'd never smile again. But somewhere along the way, she stopped asking, why did this happen to me? And started asking, what is this here to teach me? That shift didn't take away her grief, but it gave her power. She learned how to love herself again, how to trust her voice, how to be alone and still feel complete. That was the lesson hidden inside the loss. And when she found it, she stopped seeing the past as a punishment and started seeing it as preparation. Really take it. We don't have to enjoy our struggles to honor them. We don't have to pretend we're okay to know that one day we will be. It's not about romanticizing pain. It's about recognizing that pain often speaks the loudest when something deep within us is ready to grow. There is something sacred about surviving. Something sacred about standing in the middle of a life that didn't go according to plan and choosing to keep walking anyway. That choice, that courage, is itself a lesson. You are stronger than the thing that tried to break you. Every person you meet is carrying something. We are all struggling with something you can't see on the surface. And yet the people who glow the brightest are often the ones who've walked through the darkest valleys. Their light didn't come from ease. It came from endurance, from learning, from making peace with the pain, not by avoiding it, but by listening to it. If you're going through something right now, I want you to know that this season has something to show you. I don't know what the lesson is yet, but I know there is one. And the sooner we open our hearts to that truth, the sooner we begin to heal, not by forgetting the struggle, but by learning from it. You were not sent here to live a life free from hardship. You were sent here to become, layer by layer, moment by moment, who you are truly meant to be. And it is through these struggles that your becoming is shaped. Just like fire shapes metal, struggle refines your character. You learn what you stand for, what matters to you, what kind of life you want to build. You learn how to bend without breaking, how to surrender without giving up. Some of life's most beautiful blessings are born from pain. The writer who found her voice after heartbreak, the teacher who turned his trauma into compassion, the healer who once needed healing herself. These stories remind us that struggle is not the end. It's the middle. It's the messy part before the breakthrough. The uncomfortable space where transformation begins. So when life hands you a struggle, try to meet it with curiosity. Ask it, what are you here to teach me? That question won't take the pain away, but it will give it direction. It will give you a sense of purpose, even in the middle of the mess. And with time, it will give you peace. Let's talk about something simple. So simple, we often overlook it, but so powerful. It has the ability to transform the way we experience life from the inside out. Let's talk about something simple. So simple, we often overlook it, but so powerful. It has the ability to transform the way we experience life from the inside out. Gratitude. We live in a world that's always telling us we need more. Be more. Buy more. Achieve more. It's a constant chase. An endless cycle of reaching and striving. And in that chase, it's easy to miss the beauty of what's already here. Right in front of us. Right within us. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you. It's a way of seeing. A way of living. It's a quiet, powerful decision to stop waiting for extraordinary things to feel good and to start noticing the ordinary things that are already extraordinary. When you start focusing on the small blessings, really noticing them, you begin to realize how much you actually have. The sound of birds in the morning, a hot shower after a long day, a message from a friend that makes you feel seen, a moment of silence where you can just breathe. These things don't make headlines, but they make life. They are the hidden gold. Contentment doesn't come from getting everything you want. It comes from loving what you already have. And that shift, when it happens, is subtle at first. You wake up one day and the coffee tastes better. The air feels lighter. You find yourself smiling for no reason. Nothing major has changed, but you've changed because your attention has shifted from what's missing to what's present, from lack to abundance, from complaint to appreciation. You can't be deeply grateful and deeply unhappy at the same time. The two simply don't coexist. A heart full of gratitude naturally quiets the part of you that always says it's not enough. It turns down the volume on comparison. It turns up the volume on peace. You spend so much time waiting for the promotion, waiting for the relationship, waiting for the next big thing. But gratitude brings you home, right here, right now. It says you don't have to wait. You can feel joy today. Not because everything is perfect, but because there is still good here. I remember a woman who had gone through years of financial hardship. She told me there were nights she didn't know how she would feed her children the next day. But every evening, she would write down 3 things she was grateful for. Sometimes all she could write was, "We made it through the day," or "The kids are laughing tonight." That simple act didn't solve all her problems, but it gave her hope. It gave her clarity. And eventually, it gave her peace. because she had trained her heart to see the light, even in darkness. Gratitude is a daily practice. It's not something you pull out only on the good days. In fact, the days when it's hardest to feel thankful are the days when you need it the most. Those are the days when your heart is hungry for a reminder that not all is lost, that anything is still working in your favor. And it's not just about feeling good. It's about shifting your reality. Gratitude changes how you speak, how you think, how you treat others. When you lead with appreciation, people feel it. Your energy softens. Your words heal. You stop taking things for granted and start treating everything as sacred, even your struggles. Yes, even those. Because eventually, gratitude teaches you that the hard seasons also had a purpose. Maybe they brought people into your life you never would have met otherwise. Maybe they woke you up to truths you needed to face. Maybe they taught you just how strong you really are. And with time, even the pain becomes part of the gift. Gratitude also keeps you grounded. In a world of constant comparison, it brings you back to your own lane. You stop looking at what everyone else has and start appreciating what's uniquely yours. Your story, your journey, your growth. And suddenly, you're not chasing someone else's version of success. You're honoring your own. You don't need a perfect life to feel deeply content. You just need eyes that are trained to see beauty even in the mundane. A heart that's willing to say, this moment matters. And a spirit that understands. Joy doesn't always come in grand, sweeping moments. It often whispers through the quiet. So when the world tries to tell you to keep reaching for more, pause, take a breath, look around, ask yourself, what have I already been given? What is already beautiful, already right, already worthy of love? The answers might surprise you. They might soften you. They might heal you. And from that place of recognition, of presence, of deep-rooted gratitude, you'll discover a kind of contentment that no one can take away. One of the most common ways we rob ourselves of joy is by living everywhere except where we are. We're either dwelling on the past, replaying old stories, reliving old wounds, or we're racing towards some imagined future where everything will finally fall into place. But rarely, so rarely, are we fully here, in this moment, in this breath. And yet this now is the only place where life is truly happening. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I graduate, when I get married, when I lose the weight, when I buy the house, when my life finally looks like the version I've been dreaming of. But what if I told you that happiness is not something waiting at the end of a checklist? What if it's available right here, right now? Not when your life is perfect, but when your attention is present. The present moment is where your power lives. It's where your peace lives. It's the only moment you can actually touch, actually shape. The past is a shadow. The future is a vision. But the now, this is your stage. This is your moment. And the more fully you show up in it, the more beautiful and rich your life becomes. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or forgetting your dreams for the future. It means honoring them while choosing not to be ruled by them. It means understanding that this breath, this conversation, this smile, this quiet moment, this is life happening right now. And if we're always waiting for the next big thing to feel fulfilled, we miss the magic that's already unfolded. I once met a man who had worked his whole life for retirement. He had sacrificed his health, his hobbies, even relationships, all for the dream of one day. But when one day finally arrived, his body was too tired. His joy was worn thin. And he said something that stayed with me forever. I was so busy planning for life, I forgot to live it. Let that sink in. Because how many of us are doing the same? We treat happiness like a destination we'll get to if we just keep moving. But joy is not a reward. It's a practice. It's something you build moment by moment by deciding to be present with what is, not what could be. Living in the now means noticing